Hey, bud, what'd you think, man? Let me know some things about your. What can we expect from you?
Fireworks.
Fireworks. You ready, bud?
That's the fight that everybody want to see.
Yeah.
I want to do it.
Do you respect him as like when he's like, I got a couple fights left, I'm at the end, I'm only trying to get mega fights, so
I understand it.
Terence "Bud" Crawford has now responded to Jaron Ennis' bold challenge for a massive super middleweight clash where every championship belt would be on the line, and Crawford has officially said yes to the fight. The announcement caught a huge part of the boxing world off guard because until recently Crawford had never shown any real interest in stepping into the ring with Jaron Ennis, which makes this sudden acceptance one of the most shocking developments fans have seen in boxing.
And like I said before, that's my obligation in the contract, and I gotta honor that if that's the next move for me and my.
As he continues preparing for his upcoming fight, Jaron Ennis recently shared in an interview that he is completely open to climbing up to the super middleweight division if that opportunity leads to a championship battle with Terence "Bud" Crawford, and he even suggested that such a massive showdown could realistically happen in 2026. Ennis made it clear that he believes taking that kind of gamble would be worth everything, and he pointed to the path Crawford once took in his own career when he left the welterweight division, stepped briefly into the 154-pound class for just one fight, and then moved into an even heavier division, showing that daring jumps in weight can build a fighter's legacy instead of limiting it.
Terence Crawford against Jaron Ennis, for me, is the best fight in American boxing. But it needs to be a payday for Crawford that would get him interested, because Crawford knows how good Boots is. And I'm not saying that Crawford thinks he's going to lose to Boots, but he knows that is a real fight. But for me, Boots is the new Crawford.
Only a few hours later, Terence "Bud" Crawford appeared at a massive celebration in his hometown of Omaha where fans gathered to honor his latest success, and during the event he was asked about the comments Jaron Ennis recently made. Crawford responded with complete confidence and made it clear that he has no problem with the idea of the fight happening. He sent a direct message saying that if Ennis truly wants the challenge, then all he has to do is send the contract, because he is fully prepared to step into the ring at 168 pounds without any hesitation. The statement quickly gained even more attention when Jaron Ennis promoter Eddie Hearn backed the idea and praised the potential matchup, calling it the most exciting fight that could be made in boxing today, which suggests that real momentum might finally be building behind this dangerous and high-reward showdown between two elite fighters.
Without him really wanting to fight and putting forth the effort into doing what he can do along with me to get this fight done, we wouldn't be fighting. So it's only right that I give him that same,
I want and I need. So after I do my thing, Saturday night and be victorious, I feel like it's only big name fights from here on out. Only main event headlines and pay-per-view pay-per-view fighting. So that's my goal.
Your skills.
Matchroom boxing leader Eddie Hearn has confirmed that early discussions have started about a possible showdown between Terence "Bud" Crawford and former unified welterweight champion Jaron "Boots" Ennis. Ennis is already preparing for the next step in his career, as he is set to make his first appearance at 154 pounds on October 11th when he steps into the ring against Wismal Lima. Hearn described the potential Crawford against Ennis clash as the biggest fight that can be made in American boxing right now, and explained that a huge financial package would likely be needed to truly capture Crawford's attention. He also made it clear that Crawford's careful approach should not be misunderstood, because it is not about being afraid of defeat, but about understanding the danger and quality that comes with such a serious challenge. Hearn even compared the rising star to the current champion by saying that Boots Ennis represents the new version of Crawford, and now the real mission is selecting the perfect fights that will prove to the world just how special his greatness can become.
That makes a whole lot of sense, and the fight that stylistically would be, oh my goodness, is a fight between Terence Crawford and Jaron "Boots" Ennis.
I think that's going backwards for Terence.
To that point, Jaron doesn't have the kind of accolades. He doesn't sell to the mass and all these. So this fight was perfect timing for both these guys.
During the post-fight press conference, Terence "Bud" Crawford addressed questions about a possible clash with Jaron "Boots" Ennis, and the 5-division champion made his stance very clear. Crawford explained that he has no intention of stepping back down to the junior middleweight division, and if a fight with Ennis ever becomes reality, then Boots would need to meet him at a different weight. Eddie Hearn later discussed the situation and pointed out that the biggest obstacle is the financial side, because Crawford has reached a stage in his career where only enormous fights with huge rewards truly make sense for him. Hearn also described Crawford as a completely unique competitor whose boxing intelligence operates on a level far above most fighters in the sport. According to Hearn, stepping into the ring with someone like Crawford demands serious experience, strong discipline, and advanced technical ability, which is exactly why he believes a showdown with Boots Ennis would be incredibly exciting, but also extremely dangerous for both men.
In a roller coaster, but, you know, we made it to the top. No matter how we made it, you know, and, you know, it's definitely a test to say that anything is possible if you know, work hard at it and you believe in yourself and you have the...
Jaron Ennis had previously earned the position of IBF mandatory challenger at 147 pounds for Terence "Bud" Crawford before Crawford moved up to 154 pounds last year and defeated Israel Madrimov to capture the WBA title. During that period, Ennis was elevated by the sanctioning body from interim to full champion, and he cemented his reputation further by stopping Imantas Stanionis in April, also gaining recognition as both the ring and WBA champion. As he prepared for his next bout, Ennis even worked as a top-level sparring partner for Canelo Alvarez while Alvarez got ready to face Crawford, reinforcing the widespread belief in the boxing world that Ennis has been performing at an elite championship standard for quite some time.
Don't lie or kept to the net and make it seem like I had the opportunity to fight you and I didn't. I never did. You know what I'm saying? And then that one time that I did, we said they called and we said We never heard nothing else back about it. So
right.
I mean, I respect it though. I mean, get your money. You know what I'm saying? Do your thing. But don't be capping on the net.
Even with world-class sparring leading up to the fight, it still wasn't enough to prepare Canelo Alvarez for the challenge he faced in the ring. The Mexican superstar admitted after the defeat that his body simply didn't respond that night, while fans and analysts widely praised it as a masterful performance from Terence "Bud" Crawford. Eddie Hearn expressed that although he felt some sympathy for Canelo, he was genuinely excited that Crawford finally had the opportunity to prove just how exceptional he truly is. Hearn went on to note that while Crawford has amassed an impressive list of wins over his career, there were still numerous elite opponents from his era he could have taken on, and delivering such a commanding display at 38 years old makes the accomplishment even more remarkable.
The Crawford-Canelo fight. Were you surprised by the outcome?
It's boxing, anything happen.
No doubt. My other question for you is, with this win, everybody's saying Crawford elevated his status. He's the GOAT. Do you think this win puts him on Mount Rushmore or makes him a GOAT in boxing?
Everybody got their own opinion.
Fans sometimes dismiss fighters prematurely, and while many would view that as the natural end of a career, Terence "Bud" Crawford still has the option to move down to 160 pounds and pursue another world title, potentially earning the distinction of becoming a six-division champion. Canelo Alvarez came into the ring fully determined to claim victory, yet Crawford stayed completely composed, executing a masterful performance that earned him a decisive though hard-earned win in front of more than 70,000 fans at Allegiant Stadium, while over 41 million viewers watched the fight live on Netflix.
Park, South Philly. Yeah. All right, so they'll kill me if I don't ask you, right?
What?
Canelo Alvarez, Terence Crawford Wins unanimous decision victory.
Yeah.
What was your thoughts on the fight?
I was trying to stay up. It was getting too late, y'all. It was like, I think by the time they came on, it was like 1 o'clock or something like that.
It was like 1 and some.
I trained.
Watching among the millions of viewers was Jaron "Boots" Ennis, the 28-year-old fighter from Philadelphia who has consistently called out Terence "Bud" Crawford and is widely regarded as a future Hall of Famer. Just a few weeks before Canelo Alvarez wrapped up his training camp, Ennis was brought in to serve as a versatile switch-hitting sparring partner. This move drew some criticism, with many questioning whether Ennis was putting Canelo ahead of his own ambitions against Crawford. Yet despite the opinions of numerous boxing analysts, here's how Ennis responded to the situation.
We got a couple more days and y'all gonna see Canelo fighting Crawford, so I ain't got no comment on who gonna win the fight. If Crawford do what he's supposed to do, he got an option. If he don't beat Canelo. Simple as that.
When reflecting on his stint in Canelo Alvarez's training camp, Jaron Ennis revealed that it marked only the second time he had trained outside of Philadelphia and that the experience was unforgettable. Being in the ring with Canelo, a fighter with 67 professional bouts, was simply incredible. I really enjoyed sparring with him, moving up in weight and just soaking in the whole experience. Fishing, bonding, and having fun with my brother, Ennis shared. When asked if he enjoyed the camp, he added, "Of course I did. Sharing the ring with a Hall of Famer, a true legend, and the face of boxing was phenomenal. The sparring was intense, but I cherished every second alongside Canelo."
A guy of that caliber?
Yeah, why not? Why not you be able to share the ring with, with Canelo and like I said, being there with a Hall of Famer, legend, and the face of, kind of like the face of boxing, why not?
Talking about how his sparring sessions with Canelo Alvarez captured massive attention and went viral, Jaron Ennis explained, "I had a feeling it would explode. The moment we shared that picture, I knew it would spread everywhere. You could even say it makes the potential fight more exciting. People are going to be even more interested now. I'm not worried about any criticism. I did it for myself, especially during those first 2 weeks in camp at altitude. This was about my growth, not for anyone else."
I think Crawford's going to get the job done. I am officially picking Crawford to win this fight. It is still 50-50, but obviously...
He says that till he goes to Canelo.
I'm obviously going to say that this is a 60-40 fight, and I have Crawford winning this fight. Crawford's going to win this fight doing something that nobody's done to Canelo.
Okay.
And this is going to help Canelo. He's sparring against a great fighter, world champion in Ennis, and like I said
And
before,
maybe it
iron
will.
sharpens iron. And maybe it
Maybe
will.
it will.
But on the other side, it was interesting to hear your side of how, whether it's the overtraining or I think more the mental side. What if Boots is getting the best of him? How does that affect Canelo going into this fight? Why would you want to even put that doubt in your fighter's head going into...
Legendary boxing commentator Teddy Atlas, however, cautioned that including Jaron Ennis in Canelo Alvarez's camp could have unintended consequences. Atlas suggested that going rounds with a talent like Ennis might exhaust Alvarez and potentially affect his performance in the highly anticipated fight on September 13th.
Not me.
Yeah.
You know, as much as a lot of people, you know, say we have similarities and, you know, we switch a lot and we fight a lot. He's not me, you know, and I'm not him. So,
Yeah. Tim had said comparison that like he's like a Chrysler 300.
Training was in full force for both fighters, yet Alvarez's camp drew extra spotlight thanks to his sessions with Jaron Ennis. Meanwhile, Terence Crawford remained somewhat skeptical, questioning whether bringing in Ennis was truly the smartest strategy.
And now, I think Boots brought the best out of Canelo. I don't know how many rounds they may have sparred, if it's true, but if it is true, I'm assuming that Boots may have brought the best out of Canelo Alvarez in that sparring. Showed him different looks, the switch hitting. I'm pretty sure they probably wanted Boots to, you know, emulate Crawford or just to be who he is.
What's yours? My opinion is I like who I like. You know, I like Roy Jones, Floyd Mayweather, Bernard Whitaker. I'm liking Sugar Ray Leonard. I've been watching a little bit of Sugar Ray Leonard, James Tony. So they my top like guys that I've been watching.
Teddy Atlas warned that he hoped Alvarez wouldn't overextend himself during training or turn sparring into an all-out war, particularly against a fighter of Jaron Ennis's caliber. Considering Alvarez's age and the miles on his body, going hard with Ennis could create extra wear and tear. It will be fascinating to see whether any of that fatigue becomes apparent when fight night arrives.
That I would want too many highly, put it this way, I'll get right to the point. I wouldn't want wars with my guy who's been in 65 fights or 60 whatever, and is at that, 34 years old.
Never. This is crazy, Chester.
I just didn't want to see
Chester.
I didn't want to see
Chester. You got a Team Crawford shirt on, hoodie on, but you going against me? You going against me? What'd he say, Red?
I said don't get scared.
No. What'd he say?
He said you just want to see him lose.
Thank you.
Despite extra preparation, Canelo Alvarez struggled to find an answer as Terence Crawford dominated all 12 rounds, fighting confidently from the southpaw stance. Jaron Ennis, still aiming for a future showdown with Crawford, recognized the historic nature of the performance, praising it as a remarkable victory for both Crawford and the sport of boxing. While he appreciated watching the fight, Ennis remains focused on his own journey, having recently vacated his WBA and WBC welterweight titles and setting his sights on reclaiming a championship at 154 pounds.
I trained twice that day. I was like, I'm gonna just try to stay up. And the fight before that was...
And Billy Martinez.
I was watching like 1 or 2 rounds of that. They was going at it. So I wound up falling asleep. I'm like, yo, I can't stay up no longer. I just wound up falling asleep. But that was a great one for Crawford. Go.
And then on Thursday and Friday, when I saw Canelo in the vest, I was like, nah. I was like, no, he's gonna pull it off here. And it was an amazing performance by Terence Crawford. I'm gutted for Canelo, but I'm actually pleased that Crawford is getting the opportunity to show how great he is. because his resume hasn't really allowed that. Don't get me wrong, he's got some good.
Jaron Ennis is set to debut in his new weight class when he faces Wis M. Lima at the Wells Fargo Center in Philadelphia on October 11th. With a chance to make a major statement and possibly claim a secondary title, Ennis is pumped for fight night. "I'm feeling amazing. The time is almost here. I'm ready to deliver an unforgettable performance," he said, vowing a commanding showing and an explosive knockout. Interview 17. On the night before his 38th birthday, Terence "Bud" Crawford wasn't just celebrated, he was truly honored. Around 20,000 fans lined the streets of his hometown, draped in blue and gold, with Crawford at the center of it all. Perched atop a throne on a moving semi-truck, he waved to the roaring crowd, soaking in every cheer. Amid the flashes and excitement, he shared a brief but meaningful tweet, showing that his roots, his city, and everything he's achieved matter far more than any single fight. While his win over Canelo Alvarez in Las Vegas made worldwide headlines, this homecoming took the tribute to a whole new level.